What's up, guys? We just got back from watching Zach put water on some roads out in Hillsburg. Hope you guys liked that little clip. Back at the office now, and I wanted to kind of make this quick little educational part of this series just to kind of give you guys some value with stuff. So I'm going to kind of give you guys a quick idea today of what contingencies are. You guys probably hear that word a lot. If you don't, you're going to know what it is now, so pay attention. Basically, what contingencies are is it's something that gives a buyer or a seller an out during a real estate transaction in a sense. On your general type of real estate transaction, there is 3 contingencies. The first one we have is an inspection contingency. The second one we have is an appraisal contingency. And the third one we have is a loan contingency. Now, why do we have contingencies? Like I said, it's basically a way for a buyer, a lender, or whoever we're trying to set a contingency in place for them to do due diligence before they fully sign off on something. So what will usually happen is, let's say we have somebody that's buying a $500,000 house. The first thing they're going to do when this deal comes together and an escrow gets opened is that buyer is going to usually wire over a 3% deposit to an escrow account. So 3% of that would be $15,000, I think. If I'm off, put a little correction there, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So basically what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna wire over as a buyer $15,000 into an escrow account. That money, from the day that you get this deal into contract, and escrow is usually 30 days, right? So that first day, within 3 days, you're gonna have to wire this $15,000 over to the escrow account. And what that money is gonna do is basically hold you liable to this property until you do this due diligence. So my job as a real estate agent when I'm representing a buyer is to protect this money at all costs, basically, right? Because that's your money that you're wiring over. So the first thing we're gonna do is inspections. Generally, the types of inspections we're gonna do are gonna be a pest inspection, a home inspection, if it's a country property, a septic inspection, and a well inspection as well. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through these, have professional inspectors come out, and they're gonna do an inspection on the property, give their opinion on how these systems are working. If there's any issues with these properties, let's say the septic has a $6,500 leach field problem. Now what we can do is we can go back to the seller, because we have this inspection contingency in place, and say, hey, we want $6,500 back because the leach field's broken, or whatever the issue is. That issue will then get negotiated out back and forth, and if for any reason the buyer and the seller can't come to a mutual agreement on that, the buyer can now, because this contingency is in place, take this deposit that they have and walk away and wipe their hands clean like nothing ever happened. Okay, so that's why these contingencies are so important, because they're protecting your deposit. Now, hopefully that doesn't happen. The buyer and the seller come to a mutual agreement. We get this inspection off the book. Then we go to appraisal contingency. Appraisal contingency is put into place by the lender or the bank. Basically, they put it into place because they want to make sure that they're not overpaying for the property that they're loaning on. So if the property is in contract at $500, the property has to appraise at $500. Otherwise, the bank will not lend on it. So let's say the property appraises at $475 according to the appraiser. Now there's a $25,000 difference here that somebody has to make up the difference for. Usually what will happen is hopefully the buyer and the seller can come to a mutual agreement, and then like I said, that deal and that contingency will then get crossed out just like the inspection contingency. If they cannot, once again, the buyer can walk away, take their deposit, wipe their hands clean like nothing ever happened, because this contingency is in place, okay? Same thing with the loan. The loan is gonna be just the lenders double, triple checking all of your paperwork to make sure that you are in fact fully qualified to buy this property. You'll already be pre-approved at this point, which we'll talk about in another video, but the loan contingency is just double and triple checking things, like I said, to make sure that you are qualified to buy this loan. So once the bank or the lender says, yes, he's good, we can remove that contingency. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Maybe there's an unforeseen issue that they didn't see during the pre-approval process, and now the loan can't go through. So we put this contingency in place just in case something like that does come up. Once again, you can take your money and you can walk away. Hope you guys learned a little bit from that. If you have any questions about that stuff, like I said, I know there's kind of a lot and I ran through that quickly. Feel free to just shoot me a text, DM me, message me, whatever. I'm always down to answer your guys' questions. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. We're gonna be making a lot more videos like stuff like this too. So if you have something also that maybe you're interested in learning more about, put in the comments down below and just say, hey, can you do a video on whatever, and we'll talk more about it in detail. We're gonna head over to Santa Rosa. I have a couple properties I'm gonna show to a client right now. So we're gonna head over that way and we'll see you guys at the house.